games, Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, with 10 things we hate about the Spyro the Dragon trilogy. We are talking Spyro 1, Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glimmer, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. The trilogy that appeared on PlayStation 1. A trilogy that I love, you love. We have lots of positive things to say, so much so that coming up with 10 things we hate about it was nitpicky. It was nitpicky, you know? And a lot of them are balanced where it's like, do I really hate this? Or is it just, you know, yeah, it's not so easy, but there you go. We'll give it a go. And I will get us started with a really easy one. I think you might actually have bosses in Spyro the Dragon, the original game. Bosses are pointless. Why even have them? They're not clever. They're not difficult. Even the final bosses, just chase them and flame them twice. If they're pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the bosses mainly in the first one.
Yep.
You had the first boss and the last boss. The first boss was he was a bloody, I know, he was like a sheep farmer. No, it was a sheep. It was a sheep, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a sheep. Yeah, and it was so easy. And then obviously Ganassi Ganok. Yeah, it makes that he's some big powerful boss, and then you beat him so easy.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. No, I agree. The bosses, I think the bosses suck. That's something I do hate. Spyro the Dragon's bosses. Did you have that one?
I did have that one. Yeah, I did have one. Yeah.
Okay, then straight into the second game for bosses. But it's different here. Is this time they actually went, yeah, all right, let's do bosses properly. And you'll be in an arena, and they'll have health bars, and so on. They're shit. They're shit too. Because they're repetitive, and they're too hard sometimes. They're really quite difficult. Because of the attacks, particularly Ripto, the final boss, can be really, really challenging. But the problem is it's the same thing over and over again. So they're not fun either, you know?
No, I mean I haven't got that one, but I mean for a kids game, yeah, the bosses are quite difficult.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I've got. Well, I mean, like I said, these were hard to do, but I mean, the cameras in the first one, the cameras were very, 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 very bad. Mm-hmm. You know, especially when you're flying. I mean, you'll like just end up crashing into a wall.
Of course.
And actually, you'll be trying to get out, but you'll keep banging your head against the wall trying to get out. You know.
That's fair. Okay. Back to the first game. And we talk positively about it, but I will talk about it negatively now. Treetops and the Egg Thief. One Egg Thief specifically. Now, the reason why I'm putting it in the hate. Now, I do like Treetops as 11. I like the challenge. However, I think it's unnecessarily punishing and not easy to understand quite what you need to do. Because basically, with it, you have to do a variation of fast runs, but go in different directions that aren't obviously clear. And several times you will have to do the whole jumping off the edge, and you've obviously got to time the jump perfectly, otherwise you won't glide fully. It's punishing, very punishing, just to get an Egg Thief.
Yep, surprisingly, I do the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yep.
The thing is that I love the level, and I can do it, and I know it. But I was trying to remember what it was like the first time. I'm thinking I could never have worked out that path on my own. Like, I couldn't have worked it out. Like, how would I know that I've got to start here, run down, leap to that one, run up that one, leap to that one, run along that one, then leap to get to that area. I would never have considered it. So that's not great, I think. Okay, we doubled up. Oh, losing sparks. So losing the dragonfly, he can take 3 hits. Gold, goes from gold to silver to green. I can't remember. No, green, blue. No, yellow, blue, green, then nothing. So 4. Yeah, when he's nothing, Spyro, when he disappears completely, Spyro can only take 1 more hit. That's not the issue. I hate it when it happens, because when it happens, you have to walk into gems to collect them. Sparks isn't there to kind of just grab them for you, which can be really fucking irritating. It's
It can be, yeah.
picky thing, because you can get sparks back simply by finding a fucking sheep, you know? But it's a nitpicky one.
I ain't got that one, but I've got one. The dialogue, mainly in the first one of the dragons. It's just half the time they start repeating what they said before.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the first dragon you find at the very beginning, he's the last dragon you find to the very end.
Oh, really? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You might be right. You might be right. I actually have...
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Nasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Nasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will not open until you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom.
Yeah, I have something similar. And my thing is with the dialogue of those dragons is they're pompous, arrogant assholes. They're in this mess because they were rude about Gnasty Gnorc. Yet they still act like pricks. They act like pricks. You know, they're very... A lot of voices like, oh, thank you for rescuing me, and I am this dragon. And it's like, oh, fuck off, mate. You went crystal. Yeah. Go on,
So, okay, then obviously, now, the reward for completing the game, Spyro 1.
Yep.
So, your reward for completing Spyro 1 is you get to go to Gnasty's loot and get his treasure. But you got to work for it.
Yes.
You've got to chase egg collectors, you've got to fly through lava pits, chasing the annoying guy in the plane who's always a little bit faster than you. And then obviously, that's the hard bit. But then, obviously, you get the reward at the end, which is obviously all the treasure. But it's, considering for number 2, the reward, it's completely different.
I have it as well. It's disappointing. What I found particularly disappointing is the promise of being able to fly. Like, because one of the things you kind of want to do regularly is fly. And you can, but for some reason, Spyro is suddenly limited. Like there's a roof above him, and you've got to go up to a higher level to then fly higher up, and each time do that. And it's like, why? That's really weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering you're a dragon and you can barely fly, which is, yeah.
I don't get it. It's a disappointing, like, bonus level. I agree. Okay, we double up. Go again.
Let me have a look. So, drowning, falling into the water.
Yep.
Again, this is. I was literally nitpicking. I just want to.
Yeah, of course.
There's 1 or 2 levels where literally you fall in the water, and it's a pain in the arse. You got to keep jumping out to get out of it, and it's frustrating.
It can be, absolutely. Spyro Year of the Dragon. So we had this big leap of quality between Spyro 1 and Spyro 2. The problem is the game makers went, oh, we've nailed it with Spyro 2. Let's not bother with Spyro Year of the Dragon. It is very much Spyro 2.5. They add a few things in, which I will get to because it's also on this list, but not big enough of a leap. Do you know what I mean? It's not big enough of a leap compared to Spyro 1 and Spyro 2 for me. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think most of my likes and dislikes, I've gone from just 1 and 2. I've hardly touched number 3 because
Yeah.
I don't remember much. I don't remember much about number 3
Which
because
is
1
fair.
and 2 they stand out so much. 1 and 2.
Yeah, which is totally fair. It doesn't. You're right.
Again, I said it in the likes, but this is going to be a dislike to characters.
Yeah.
Some of the characters were so
Bad.
well, I mean, main number 2, you went there to save them, to save Glimmer, and then you got bloody money bags who's charging you to bloody do all these things. Yet you're there to save them. You got Hunter who, instead of going, oh, here's the orgs, oh, you got to do this challenge first.
Yeah.
You got to do this first. I'm here to save you, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got characters as well, so I'm gonna do 2 and 1. I'm gonna do 2 now because you brought up Moneybags, and yeah, Moneybags, what a get! I know it's more like I know it's a progression thing and it's a video game thing, but what a fucking get! It's like, I'm gonna save you and save your fucking land, and you're like, yeah, you can't go up this ladder until you give me 500 gems. You prick. You know what I mean? Yeah, and he's in Year of the Dragon as well, doing exactly the same thing.
Yep.
But continuing with characters, and I'm going to touch on Year of the Dragon specifically here, where you play as other characters. You have a couple of different ones, a kangaroo, a flying general guy, bird, and those levels are some of the worst levels. Particularly Sheila the kangaroo, I find to be horrible to play as, just not fun. It's just like we needed to do something different, and this is what they came up with, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's good. Yeah.
Hiya, Sheila. While you are gone, a bunch of Rhinox kicked us out of our houses. It's okay, though. Bobby, Pete, and I are working on a clever plan to take them back.
I got one left.
Yep.
Which is it's again it's for Spyro 2, but it's a specific level. Although I liked the added the fact that you can swim underwater. There's one level where I don't know you might remember where you got to rescue sea turtles.
Oh yeah.
And bring the turtles back to their mothers.
Yeah.
That level there was so annoying because I mean the swimming's good, but Spyro is very hard to control underwater because he moves so fast.
Absolutely. Spyro swimming, well, not the worst because the camera's quite good and the controls are clever and so on, is still not that much fun.
No.
And my last one is one of the worst things about these games, but also probably the worst in underwater levels. And it's when you've gone through the level and done everything and you get to the end and you're like, and you've missed one gem. One fucking gem, and you're like, how, where, and you've got to go through that level trying to find it. And that's why I say the underwater levels are often the worst for that in Spyro 2. But yeah, Luke missing one fucking gem, you're just like, no, in a level like Treetops, you know.
What does that remind you of? Banjo-Kazooie missing one bloody note.
Oh, it's always the worst when you got to do that kind of collectible, isn't it? Yeah, like doing something like Click Clock Wood, where you miss a note that's at the very fucking top of the tree.
Yeah,
absolutely. But as we said, it's nitpicky because we love Spyro the Dragon. We love these games, and I like some of the sequels. There's a later sequel where I think it's got one of the best levels I've ever played in a Spyro game. Yeah, and I hope the franchise can one day recover, you know, and go back to what it was. But there you go, 10 things we hate about the Spyro trilogy. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal, what else is life for?